My name is Cameron Peterson. I've worked as a mountain guide with the company Alpine Ascents International for 3 years. This is my second Denali expedition guiding for the company. On this expedition, I had the honor of working alongside legendary mountain guide Vern Tejas. It was a long history of accomplishments in the mountains. At 70 years old, this is Vern's 62nd summit of Denali, the highest mountain in North America. This is a record number of summits of Denali that'll likely never be topped. While working as a guide myself, I had the opportunity to document this record-breaking expedition as the story unfolded. With that being said, here's Vern Tejas at 17,000 feet on a high camp on Denali.
Hi, I'm Vern Tejas. I'm a high-altitude mountain guide. I work for Alpine Ascents. I've been climbing Denali for most of half of my life. This is my 62nd ascent if we get to the top tomorrow. Been very fortunate, been able to climb all over the world. Climbed the 7 summits over 10 times. Wrote a book about it, it's called 70 Summits. I love the mountains. This is my home. I can't fathom being any place other than this and enjoy it so much. This is probably the best place in the world for me anyway. 70 years old now and love doing this. It's my passion to be in the mountains and look forward to being in the mountains for realistically probably only a couple more decades, but I really enjoy this lifestyle. I'm the only guide that I know of in the whole world that has actually guided the 7 summits as well as the North Pole and the South Pole, the last degree on each of those. I've also flown off the top of several of the 7 summits. I've taken a guitar to the top of all 7 summits. But the flying off is one of the more exciting aspects. When I flew from Denali, I landed down at 14,000 feet, where everybody calls the Ranger Camp, and ended up in the Ranger's water supply. I think that's why they made it illegal. But I was also able to fly off the top of Europe, probably the first person to fly off the true summit, the western summit of Elbrus. Also flew off the top of Vinson in Antarctica, first person to do that. You know, it's not all about first, but it sure is fun. We've done something that no one else has done before. Flew off the top of Kosciuszko, believe it, highest mountain in Australia. It was actually the most dangerous thing I've probably done in the mountains. Ended up flying backwards through boulders and got pretty banged up. But anyway, it's all on a day's work and a day's fun. Yeah, when you get to Alaska, somebody's bound to ask you, wanna go to the mountains, have a little fun.
We got Vern Tejas here. What are we packing?
Can you see the pea cake?
Oh, pea cake.
Yeah, pea cake. This is our pancake mix. I'm gonna put 2 pounds of sugar in there with it. It's gonna be really sweet. And pecans, cherries, strawberries.
Perfect. So Vern's more of a breakfast guy.
Yeah, I love breakfast.
Yeah.
Gotta fuel the fire if you wanna go all day, you know?
That's right. That's right. I like it. It works out perfect because I'm more of an evening guy. I like to cook the dinners. And we got Adam and I over here cooking dinner. How you doing, Adam?
Good, man.
These are all our dinner bags.
Getting excited.
Oh yeah.
I'm also a filmer.
Really?
Well, no, but now that I know you need one for K2, I am.
I'll train you up.
Whatever's needed up there, that's what I do.
This is all our expedition food, so we got snacks and we're packing for about 28 days.
It's totally out of the blue.
This is, got all our frozen goods in here.
Yeah.
We're packing bags individually for each day. What are we doing here, Vern?
We are pre-setting up the tents to make sure that all the poles are working, all the zippers are working, and there's no tears or flaws in it. These are almost brand new tents, so I'm not too concerned, but it's always good to check first. If you don't, you end up paying more than feel it.
I am testing our stoves and making sure they're running up to tip-top shape. they need to be cleaned, we clean them. And yeah, just making sure there's no issues.
Well, these are really well rigged sleds. They've got rear pull cord on them, and they've got front brakes as well as braces. And they've got 2 ways to lash things in, and that's doesn't get much better than that. I think whoever rigged these knew what they were doing.
You know, if it's too long and I cinch it all the way up there and then sit to rest, I'm not going to be able to go back up there and reach it, right?
Give you a little heads up, guys. So if you go in to a hole and you want to get that weight of the sled and your pack off that wants to flip you upside down, it's going to be really easy because we're going to have one more piece of rope left over, right? This one. And you can make a pack leash. We call it a ditch strap. It's going to be hooked to your haul strap on your pack. It's going to come down here. It's going to be clipped to the rope. So if you go in upside down, you clip it to the rope, and first thing you do is you drop it on the rope. It'll be hanging here. And this will keep that rope down so you don't have to worry about pulling it down yourself. Your pack and your sled will be hanging below you.
Thank you. Can I get in it?
Yeah. All right, everybody, hold on. Let me.
Okay, you guys are all on this plane.
Yeah.
This plane's loaded up already, and so the pilot probably wants to start a briefing.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
I see you again, Conrad. I met you at Rainier.
Oh, good.
Yeah, up at the weather port up there a while ago.
Were we working together, or were you, or I was just guiding?
It was when you were with Jimmy up there.
Oh, in
Hillary,
Marina, yeah,
yep,
in Jim, gotcha.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Yeah,
Have fun up
yeah,
there.
Thank
you. Get to
you.
go with Vern, he's the best.
Oh yeah, I'm stoked. I'm gonna definitely learn a thing or two.
Yeah.
He's wealth of knowledge, that's for sure.
Go just to the left of that, you're going to see Crossing. It's named after one of the early explorers. He was an early exploration pilot. He landed on the north side. He was the first guy to land in the park, Crossing. You go around into that ugly looking cloud there, that lenticular, that's over Foraker. It's the native name for Denali's wife, is what they call it. Foraker, yeah, Foraker is actually not.
Is it Sultana?
Not local, but Sultana is the native name. Foraker was another one of our politicians.
And that one stayed? That one stuck?
For the time being. I'd rather have Denali's wife, Sultana. It also makes me think of golden raisins. But anyway, this one here was called Bugeya, and it's now called Hunter. Bugeya was meant the child. So you had father, mother, child. This is Hunter. It's a little over 14,000 feet. And I was very fortunate a few years back. Did the first winter ascent of it with a couple of my buddies. Gary Bocart, who started the company called Mountain Trip, and Paul Dinkwater, who runs the climbing store in Anchorage. We came out here and
went up that little triangle. You can see a little one, you can see a big one, and another big buttress, the North Buttress. And we went up that triangle face and then up that hanging glacier there. Yep. And to the summit. When those guys came in here and did the Moonflower Buttress, North Buttress, they just topped out and called it a day. There's one hanging bivvy, one hanging bivvy and a chopped bivvy, snow cave, and a bivvy out on the surface. The chopped bivvy and the hanging bivvy were kind of the crux of the thing. You hang all night long in your harness and slip off enough that your rope's half cut way through. In the morning when you look at it, you're going like, okay, another couple slips, I'd be going all the way. then you also have to try to make water while you're bivvying. That was not easy. The chopped bivvy, we actually had a 65 to 70 degree slope, and we spent 2 hours with our ice axes chopping it out. Just enough room to lay down. We did a nice long one, so each one of us had little, like 2 foot little wide ice. And I cooked on my stomach that night, because that was the only flat place we had. So don't toss and turn too much while you're cooking. This is the southeast fork of the Kilhitna Glacier we're on. That's the main branch of it down there. So this one comes in here. There's another one on the other side of Francis, which is the west fork of the Kilhitna. And then there's one beyond Kilhitna Peaks called the northeast fork of the Kilhitna. Bonington.
Yeah, Bonington.
Sir Christian Bonington wrote a book, and he actually refers to it in there. He had to go really bad, and he had the full down suit thing, and I was just telling you what a drag that is. But he got his harness down, got the whole thing down, and boom, got it down. Pulled everything back up, and as he flipped his hood on, he realized. So you can imagine, pretty bad story. I'm glad it happened to him, not me. Nice.
Look at that.
All right, eat up.
Oh yeah, thank you, Vern.
Okay, see
I'll take some salsa.
this salsa has got to be gone before we leave here.
I can do that. Thank you, Vern.
I get it, dude. Trust me.
Don't go away.
Oh, we got bacon too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And this one is actually used in mountaineering as well. It's called the Moonter. You, instead of making 2 little O's, you make 1, fold, and you clip this guy right here. Anybody got a carabiner?
Oh, yeah.
Good. You always clip 2. You saw I did it with a finger dangle technique. And the check is it looks like a curlicue, but it has to spill and look mirror image opposite when it spills. Everybody sees it spilling?
Yeah.
This provides lots of friction. And you can belay with this, or you can also rappel with this. And after you drop your ATC down the face, this becomes a real handy knot to remember. So just make sure when you do it, you spill it both directions. That's your test. This will twist your rope up. So it's important to have. The
What's
more you
ATC?
carry up here,
What's ATC stand for?
Your belay device.
Oh.
yeah, it's a
Airplane.
air traffic control, just like that.
Directly in line
Different, yeah.
is technically the strongest, but we're talking about 10,000 pounds against 9,000 pounds.
Okay.
It's not going to be life or death. Right here, we're limited with the length of these slings, so if I put it too close, I'm going to jeopardize the snow in front of this picket, right, which has already been worked.
You have to put 3 times here to get him up one there, whatever unit, your meters or feet or miles or whatever. This gives me a 3 times advantage on a full person. So I should be able to move, if he's 200, I should be able to move 600 pounds doing that with 3 to 1. That's if there's no friction, okay? That's in a very ideal world, and we have friction in this world. So 1 guy should be able to pull him out. 2 guys, we should be rocking it, okay? If for some reason that's not working, you can always put a 2 to 1 on this. So here we are, just working closer and closer. I've had a 16-year-old girl pull out a guy who weighed about 220 out of a crevasse just on the other side of that ridge over there in the roof. And she did it by sitting down she had the same kind of situation right here. She just sat down and she'd lean back and then push out, lean back, push it out. And she was able to use her legs like a rowboat.
Ah, like
Yeah.
rowing.
Yeah, so, and she pumped him right up. And he was like, how'd she get me out? I was going like, that's the trick. That's what I call his mechanical advantage. Look at that, see what I can do? You don't want it too tight. And that's why these will slip out. If you go in a crevasse, the bags will come out. And then you're out 5 days of breakfast right there. It's just 2 1/2 inches with the bite. This is the right position, okay? This is not, this is not, this is not. You see people trying to self-arrest this way? If you're going that way, the snow's going that way, it's just gonna keep rolling it out. It's gotta be in an almost vertical position to hook into the snow, okay? And like I say, you don't want it here, you don't want it here. I just keep it between my ear and my shoulder, and there's nothing it's gonna mess up, okay? And then you fulcrum it off your chest, off your sternum. Poof. The Parisian stow, right up here, roll it around. Try not to stick a hole in anything. Get that off your head.
You ever, like, you might have caught it when he was
baby, when she
eating
walks,
pizza.
she
We'll
shakes
put, like,
like
we'll just coat the entire pizza. Salt, pepper. You want some of these goodies?
Where are we moving to today, Vern?
We're going up there.
Way up there? Wow, that's a long ways away.
Go do the stomp. Oh, baby, come on, let's do the stomp.
Cassine starts, if you did the normal cassine, it would start right when that little, yeah, it goes cut in there. Yeah, further, kind of like over this first peak.
This thing's got so many, like,
So this guitar is a birthday present from my true love. But I was lucky I came up to Alaska just a little bit early to meet some old friends that before they all pass away. But one of my early inspirations is a guy named Art Davis, and he wrote a book called -148. It was about his winter ascent of Denali in 1967, where they ended up in a huge storm up at Denali Pass, and they bivouacked up there for most of a week. And the 3 members of the team that were there all lost a lot of weight and several of their toes. That book was one of the things that I thought was the most heroic, and it was actually kind of inspirational for the whole reason why I ultimately ended up doing the winter solo of Denali many years later. Yeah, when you get to Alaska, somebody's bound to ask you, wanna go to the mountains, have a little fun. When you see them, you're gonna wanna climb them, especially Denali, it's the highest one.
17K to 20 to summit. Tonight partly cloudy, low -5 to -20. Southeast winds 25 to 35.
Oh, I'm so glad we're down here. This would be not good
Tomorrow,
to be up there right now.
Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Old girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
He might have just flown like 3,000 miles to get up here.
Yeah, he just flew across the whole range. It's nap time. Today is day 4 of our expedition. We're still traveling on the Lorca Hiltna. It's my turn to lead the team, heading to Camp 1 from half camp. Snowed a good bit last night. Weather's breaking a bit up a bit today. Mountains are starting to stick out of the clouds. Beautiful day.
Take a break. Good pull, team.
But even better, a nude photo on top of Vincent.
Wait, you have a nude photo on top of Vincent?
And it was still impressive.
I held my ice axe right there.
Stop cracking jokes.
You want the tents, right? That's good, but
We made it to Camp 1. Today is day 5. And we're carrying up a big load of gear to cache higher up on the mountain and then coming back down to camp again. What's the plan for today, Dieter?
We are walking up there. You see those people?
Oh yeah, there they are. Look at all those people.
That S, and I think I was told there are 3 risers, and then we're gonna store all that stuff there.
Yep.
Food, heavy clothing, and take a lot of pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna go up there and dig a big hole and come back down. Dug a successful cache hole.
Deep.
It's deep. Heading back down, can't see anything.
that's not good.
Oh, that's a dangler. That's how you carry your ice axe, folks. Well, we went up to about 10,000 feet, dug our cache, and now we're heading back down to Camp 1. On the way up, it was beautiful and sunny, and now it's an absolute whiteout. And as you can see, my hair is freezing because it's a cold whiteout. It's quite moist and icy in this cloud we're living in currently, and can't really see a damn thing. Fortunately, I'm leading the group back down, and I do love a little bit of a challenge when it comes to navigating, and it's exactly what I'm getting. Tomorrow we'll haul all our camping gear up to the cache and set up camp there. The reason we're doing this is because we're hauling probably 140 pounds between sleds and pack, and we have to split up the trips so that way we're not doing a single haul up a few thousand feet, because it's just too much weight. So we're splitting it up, and it's a good way to acclimatize to the elevation as well. Climb high, sleep low is the rule of thumb. So taking it slow and getting acclimatized. That way we're gonna be feeling much better when the important time comes on the higher mountain, when we need our energy the most.
Celebrate with peace and who cares if there's stormy weather, as long as we're together. Make a trail to you.
Making a move up to 10,000. Weather is beautiful. You can see our camp way down there. Came from around the corner over there. How we doing, Adam?
Good, man. Real
good.
Kicking some ass.
Beautiful day up here.
It sure is.
Where the hell did he go, boys? Fucking ravens.
Do we lose it? Ravens took it.
Peter, did you guys carry a gallon of fuel yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dug up our cache. It's all our food bags. So when did you get into paragliding?
Paragliding actually really early in the game, 1986. I saw my first one, bought it, and really didn't have any lessons. The guy didn't speak much English. He was German, and he was really a good flyer. He flew off of Aconcagua in '86. You know how long ago that was?
That's a long time ago.
And it was, you know, it was 3-to-1 gliders back then, and somehow he made it. And then when he got down, he said, "Yeah, I'll sell." Basically, he took me to a hill in a park, and just said, "Do this, that."
Yeah.
But it was the wind was wrong. I never got to fly with anybody who knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And in Hatcher Pass, just north of Anchorage, in the Talkeetna Ranges, where I basically stumbled across how to fly.
Wow.
I actually tripped. I was running downhill, snow, which is smart. You know, oh, let's do it on snow. So if we auger in, it's not going to hurt too much. But I was running down this breakable crust. My buddy had just got like a 15-foot flight. I was like, wow, I'm coming down there. That's a better launch site. I was running down. I had the whole thing behind me, just wadded up in a ball, and I stumbled and I launched it. I mean, I launched into the space, and it went poof, and I flew over the top of him, and he was like, "How'd you do that?" I was just screaming. I mean, it was like so fucking amazing. I mean, I was just shit. And anyway, it kind of hooked.
Oh yeah.
So when that happens, you're into it. Like, we just, for me, it was not just the flying. It was doing first descents. And that's why I brought one here to fly in the wintertime. On my winter solo, I actually, for the shelters I make, you need a tarp. I didn't bring a tarp. I had my paraglider.
No
was
way.
My tarp. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So most people don't. But there is a photo in my book where I think it was black and white, unfortunately. But the colors inside my shelter are the same colors of the paraglider because it's over the top. And anyway, but I took it up there, and it was whiteout when I summited it. So I buried it up there and came back the following summer, carried it up there. But I was with, I had clients and things. So, came back down. The wind was wrong anyway. So I came back down, buried it again, and just cached it up there until '88. At that time, I got invited to basically Sherpa loads to the top with a group from the University of Alaska. They were trying to measure the mountain, and they asked me if I'd help them out with it. I said, sure, I will, but for my compensation, you guys let me fly off the top. And they were like, yeah, sure. Where's your glider? I said, it's up there already. And they're like, oh, pretty cocky. But so I had the opportunity with that group. It was in 1988, 89. Time flies when you're having fun. Anyway, we had to actually set up the surveying equipment right on the summit. And then we had to let it shoot a whole lot of shots up to the satellites to figure out exactly how high the mountain was. I think we had 4,000 measurements or something. We did that overnight, and then we went back up the following day, and I brought my paraglider up, and we were going to go for 4 more hours, run out our batteries, taking more shots. So while we were waiting for 4 hours, I asked the head surveyor, I said, hey, you don't mind if I try to inflate my glider here, do you? And he said, no problem. So I did. I was able to launch and flew down to the football field. So it's only a drop of maybe 500-800 feet or so. And then from the football field, packed it up, ran back up. I was going like, it obviously works. This will be a good launch. And my goal was actually to fly down to base camp. And I just dump my stuff in a crevasse or something because
if I got to base camp and I lived, it would be like it's so magic. But by the time I got back up there, the surveyor was getting pulmonary edema.
Yeah.
He was talking really slurred and wasn't good, so I just said, let's grab the gear, put it in my pack, and I headed down with him instead of flying. And when we got back down to high camp, the guys were like, well, did you fly? I said, yeah, I did. And I said, we didn't get to see you. I was like, well, I didn't get the big drop that I wanted. And they said, well, can you fly from here? And 17.2 actually has got a very nice launch. I mean, you can see 100 miles from up there. It's beautiful. I said, yeah, I will fly from here if you bring all my stuff down. And they said, sure, we'll bring it down, just fly. So I went and stood at the top of a very steep gully called Blind Faith. Some really good skiers can ski it, but it's steep enough where standing up at the top, I was real leery about slipping over. But there's no wind, and it's very rare that Denali doesn't have any wind. I stood there for probably 45 minutes, almost an hour, with my arms outstretched, going, "Come on, come on!" And I just got one little puff, and that's all it took. And I just ran for the. I mean, it's 3-to-1. We're at 17,000 feet, thin air. I was running like a maniac and just ran off the mountain, which if it hadn't inflated, I wouldn't be telling this story today. I would have died. It inflated and I flew, and I mean, again, it's that same rush that I got the first time I ever flew, I got now, because now I'm looking like all over the Alaska range. I can see, hundreds of miles in all directions, mountains jumping up, glaciers tumbling down, and I'm up in the air. And it was a riot. I mean, just and it actually got that captured on film.
You did?
Yeah.
Nice.
One of the guys was a videographer back in those days. Anyway, make a long story short, I come down to 14. I realized I'm not going to base camp. I was getting a lot of sink, 3-to-1s, not much, especially in thin air. So I circled the 14 camp, and I was looking around for a place to land. There was one place that had wands around it. I could see it from the air that no one had walked in. I'll just land right there. It turned out to be the ranger's water supply. And so I landed right in the middle of it, gathered my chute up and walked out. And then as I walked out, there was a sign that says, do not disturb ranger's water supply here. And I was like, oh, okay. So my footprint's right in the middle of it, and walked out. So interestingly enough, the next year it was illegal to fly. The Park Service said no more flying. So
You got it banned for the rest of us.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. That said, though, there have been flights since then.
Yeah, there have been. Yeah.
Top secret.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You did it back in the 80s. Technology is.
Yeah, that would have been 89.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Since then, I have not flown off of Kilimanjaro, even though I've taken paragliders up there twice.
Yeah.
I have not flown off of the top of Aconcagua.
You tried Vincent?
I was the first person to fly off of Vincent.
You were the first person to fly off Vincent. Welcome, Dieter.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, the same people that I know that flew off of Denali, also as a couple, French couple.
Yeah.
They also flew off of Vincent.
Oh, they
and
did?
I got to meet him there. I'd already heard about this, but I didn't ever meet him.
No way.
I met him in Benson Base Camp.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He said, so you're the guys.
That's hilarious.
Said, where'd you land? He said, right there. Like,
Should we
that's
put
so
this
cool.
over there?
It's a small world.